Hey, this is Bree with Cosmic Siren. Welcome to the Siren Pod, a safe space for quirky and curious souls who wish to connect more deeply with others, themselves, and the world around them, and who believe in magic. I know everyone is unique and has their own special path. My goal is to help you trust your inner voice and live life to the tune of your soul. In this episode, I wanted to talk to you about hiding your feelings. Are you expressing your whole truth? Recently, a couple of newer friends that I've made asked to listen to my podcast, and I realized I was uncomfortable with that. I didn't want them to listen. It's interesting. I feel comfortable strangers listening to my podcast, but when it comes to family or friends or people around me who really know me, I realize I haven't really shared my podcast with them. And I wanted to explore why I was having resistance with that. Like, what is it about it that's stopping me from sharing? Because you'd think that I'd feel comfortable with the people around me who know me listening to me speak. So I was working through this with my coach, and, she was asking me more about what exactly I'm afraid of expressing. Is it my ideas? Is it my spiritualness? What exactly is it? And when I was talking to her, I kept coming back to, I don't want them to listen because what if they know I'm talking about them? And it's not even a negative thing. I share stories from my life so that messages come through to help people listening. And what I was afraid of was some of those people realizing the amount of affection that I talked to them with. What it came down to is what we realized is I was afraid of people witnessing my feelings, like hearing my feelings about them in a positive way. And that was interesting to me. It's not about anything else really. It's more of when I talk about soul connections, when I talk about connecting really deeply with someone or knowing them in a different life, or my intentions for the connections, I seem to hide it. I don't want it to be shared. And I don't want anyone knowing about this. And my coach was wondering why. It's a positive thing. They're positive feelings, they're positive emotions. Why would you not want them to hear that about you? So we explored that. We went through the practice, traced it back to childhood, like I was telling you guys about inner child healing. And I realized it went back to the same situation, incident of not feeling like my feelings were being heard when I was younger. And it made me realize I was still afraid of expressing my feelings. In a previous episode, episode 2, I talked about how, we can feel unheard in our relationships because we're afraid of expressing, like, when we're hurting, when we're in pain, those quote unquote negative emotions. And I was only looking at part of it. I had been trying to heal and shift things and express those parts of me, but I was still hiding my true feelings, my actual feelings. I was hiding how I naturally am. I feel I am a very naturally loving and expressive person. I love showing and giving others affection through my words and physically, like hugs or holding hands or cuddles. And through my words, I feel I hold back so much. I have all these thoughts or journal about how when I talk to this person, how I miss this person, how I'm thinking about this person, how I'd like to spend more time with this person. And I don't share that with anyone. I hide that. I realized through the practice we were doing, the inner child healing, that I was afraid of being laughed at. I've been laughed at before for expressing like pain or concern. And so I thought it was just with that, but no, this goes to all my feelings. I was afraid if I expressed my true feelings or how I feel, or even positive affection toward others, that it wouldn't be received well. It would be laughed at, or maybe it would be rejected. My feelings would be rejected. I would be rejected. Who I am would be rejected. And that's what it came down to. And so we did a practice, we connected with that part of myself, talked to that part of myself, healed through that, and shifted the belief. And, the belief is, as always, that my feelings matter. I express my whole truth because, to be honest, it's really painful hiding and constricting myself all the time because I'm not really being my authentic self, right? I'm not really being my authentic self. I am who I am. I don't lie about my perspective or ideas. I don't hide my interests, but I am hiding a big part of my am, which is just being a very loving person. And, love is love. Love is expansive. Love is unconditional. And I'm hiding that part of myself. I'm hiding my love for people. After doing the practice, after the healing, I felt a little silly. I feel a little silly for being afraid of showing my affection or love. I mean, it's valid, right? It's okay to have fears of being rejected. And obviously I was affected from something from my past, but these people won't laugh at me. The worst case scenario is they don't connect with my feelings. They don't receive them openly for whatever reason. And that's okay, right? Because I will be okay. I will be fine. And it's not right or wrong again, right? It's about alignment. If I'm myself, if I'm expressing myself fully and authentically and sharing positive thoughts and feelings toward the connections I'm making and they don't want to receive it, then they're not for me, right? My whole focus moving here and building a community is finding those aligned connections. I want to find people that are open and curious and quirky and want to dive deep and want intimate connections like I do. And I'm not going to find those people and I'm not going to be able to build those types of connections if I'm not expressing myself fully, if I'm hiding parts of myself, which is my feelings. I can't just only be okay expressing when I'm in pain occasionally. I have to also be okay expressing positive emotions. It's scary sometimes, right? When you make new friends and people and you want to express to them like, hey, I want to hang out with you. I want to spend some time with you. Do you have time for me? I want to connect with you more. I want to say those things very straightforward, but it's a little scary. I like to give people space. I like to feel the energy out, and I never want to overwhelm someone. And it's not like I'm jumping on someone and saying like, you need to spend time with me. It's just the simple fact that I am so afraid of just saying, hey, I want to see you. Just a simple thing like that. There's a person right now in my life. I met them a few months ago and I really connect with this person a lot. And they already have, they have friends and support here and they have other connections. And I'm always happy when I'm around them. I really enjoy connecting with them. I want to talk to them more. I want to spend time with them more. Only seeing them every once a month is not doing it for me. It's a little bit of a struggle. It's fine. I have my own life and other connections, but I really just want to spend time with this person. I want to see them. I miss them. And I don't even want to tell them that I miss them and want to see them more because I'm just waiting. I'm just thinking, oh, if they want to hang out, they'll reach out. I'll reach out every so often. And if they don't match the same energy back, I give them space, right? I try to match the energy that people give me. But if I'm not being as expressive as I want to be, if I'm not being as clear, then it's just going to be more painful for me. I might as well just express my truth. I might as well say, hey, I want to see you more, or hey, I miss you. Can we hang out? And if that's not met, then at least there's that. But at least I'm not holding myself back and hurting. I'd rather express myself fully and let it be known and then be rejected, because at least there's no wondering or waiting or thinking, what does this person think about me? Do they even want to hang out with me? Are we even building a friendship? What's going on? And it makes sense, I suppose, that I struggle with expressing affection and gratitude toward the connections I have in my life. If I've also struggled so much with expressing when I'm hurt or in need pain or in need help. It's two sides of the same coin. It's just expressing your whole truth. It's just expressing your feelings. And I think that's why people are afraid to say those things out loud. It's this fear of rejection, right? If you're similar to me, just think, when was the last time that you told your close friends or good friends or even new connections or family or lovers, whoever, like, hey, I'm thinking about you. I miss you. I care about you. I really enjoy spending time with you. Thanks for spending time with me. You really make me happy, or I really feel really happy when I spend time with you. I really enjoy our conversations. My favorite thing to do with you is this. I want to go to this with you. Do you want to come? It's just expressing those positive feelings more. I feel like I just naturally or was conditioned to only say something when something was wrong. So if nothing was said, then everything's okay. But it feels good when someone says, hey, it's good to see you. Or, hey, I had a really good time with you yesterday. It just feels really good. It's, the verbal affirmation, one of the love languages. My love language is quality touch and time. And so, wait, I just messed that up. Quality time and physical affection are my love languages. And I always hold myself back with the physical affection because, one, everyone has different boundaries, so I'm careful with that. But I hold myself back a lot with the words and physical affection. So I just need to express myself more naturally, or just tell them, like, hey, I want to hug you. Is that okay? And some people are very open to that, right? Some people are on that level. That's why now when I meet people, I ask, what are your love languages? It's actually helped a lot, because for the couple people that I met that have the physical affection, it's been really easy. They like holding hands, they like cuddling, they like snuggling, and it's okay. It's normal. It's fine. You can do that with your friends. You don't have to reserve that for your romantic partners. And I'm not saying it's wrong too. Some people I've met said that. They said, oh, I only cuddle or snuggle or do these things with who I'm dating. And I respect that. I also want to open people up to the perspective that, it's okay to be physically affectionate with your friends. I think a lot of people are conditioned to only have some certain level of physical affection with a romantic partner. And I find that to be, for me at least, like, that's a little sad. I don't have that experience, right? Like, I'm very affectionate with my friends or good friends, close friends, and they know that about me and they accept it, and I feel really good. And a couple of people that I've met here, I've actually introduced them to that. They said, oh, I haven't done this before with friends. It feels nice. And it does feel nice, right? Sometimes you just need a hug or a cuddle. Sometimes you just want to sit, watch a movie and hold hands because it just feels good and it's nice. And it doesn't have to be anything. It's just another way to connect. I guess I'm finding that I'm not expressing myself fully. I'm still hiding the way I show love to other people. I'm trying to be so careful. I'm trying to tiptoe around people's boundaries or people's assumed reactions that I have of me expressing myself, but I can just ask. The worst thing that can happen is someone says no, and that's valid, and that I would respect that, and that's okay. But I'm not gonna know until I ask or till I try. I'd rather just speak my truth fully, honestly, all the time, and have the people that appreciate that and receive that be the ones close to me. And for the ones that are uncomfortable, for the ones that don't want to talk about feelings, don't want to show positive affection, those aren't for me, and that's okay. But if I'm going to be building my community and making friends here, I have to start with that, and I have to express my feelings, my whole truth. And if I'm the one that expresses myself that way, they might feel more comfortable expressing themselves that way too. It could change the relationship. It could shift something. It could deepen it, make it more intimate, connect more. We would bond more. Sense of trust would build. I guess I'm remembering from, being young. I was a very affectionate child, physically and verbally. And I feel like people would make comments, right? You'd get teased, or people would say you're flirting, or all these things. And it made me stop and hold myself back. It made me feel like I'm doing something wrong. I tend to touch people when I talk, or I tend to give hugs when I meet people. I tend to feel deeply, and I always hide those things. And with COVID, it was harder, right? You had to keep distance, 6 feet away, couldn't really touch people. I wonder how other people whose love language was physical touch, I wonder how they handled COVID. COVID was hard. I had a few people, around me, whatever pod you chose to keep yourself in, but I was forced to not, be physically affectionate or express myself with most of the world for safety reasons. I feel, for me, the physical touch, the physical affection is seen as such a restrictive love language because, as I said, most people view that as with romantic partners, or they're only physically affectionate when it leads to sex. As someone told me, they told me they've not hugged and cuddled someone where it didn't lead to sex, and I was shocked. I didn't realize people had those experiences. And I said, but you've never just hugged or cuddled someone just to hug or cuddle? It feels really good. It feels nice. It doesn't have to lead anywhere. And I hope I made a difference or an impact on that person's life to open themselves more to smaller forms of physical affection. But I think words of affirmation, which is something I've continuously been working on because I feel like it is one of my weak points. Words of affirmation are so important. It's the clearest way to communicate with someone. Yes, we can communicate through touch or nonverbal cues, but when someone says something very straightforwardly and clear and in their voice, there's not really a misinterpretation, right? There's no misunderstanding. When someone says, just point blank, hey, I want to see you, I miss you, I appreciate you, I love you, you're an important friend to me, I value our friendship, I value our connection. This is something that I want to prioritize, I want to build on this. Those are very simple and clear statements that are really powerful, and when you mean them, can really positively support and affect someone else. And that's what I want to do more. I guess this is more of a message of just don't be afraid to share how you're feeling. Yes, it's important to express when you're in pain and hurting and have those conversations. It's also really important to express your love and gratitude toward others. It doesn't have to be for a special occasion. It can just be when you feel it. It can be on a daily basis. The next time you see them. Is there anyone in your life that you haven't talked to in a while that you've been thinking about? And you just want to tell them, like, hey, you've been on my mind thinking about you. Hope you're doing well. I've had a couple people do that. I've done that to a couple people before, and it just feels so nice. And sometimes they're like, oh, I was thinking about you too. Or a conversation starts, or that's an opportunity to go hang out and connect. It's just another way to connect and make people feel good and uplift them. And it's the truth. We hide so much of our internal world, our feelings. But I feel like if people shared their feelings more from an authentic place, I feel like people would have more deeper connections. And I want to do that. And I have to set the example. I have to set the bar. I have to set the standard in my relationships. If this is what I want in the relationship, then I need to be doing it and expressing it. And the other person can or cannot do it back depending on where they're at. But I have to start somewhere, right? If there's something in your relationship that you're wanting to change or deepen, you have to be the one to take action and do it and express it. I find that waiting around for the other person to say something or do something just causes more pain. It causes more delay. We're waiting and waiting for something, but we can be the ones to do it. We can be the ones to make a change and cause the shift. And hopefully it'll mirror back what we're putting out, right? If I'm feeling all of this positive affection and love inside and I'm expressing it out to my relationships, then it would mirror back to me. And for the ones that it doesn't mirror back, for the ones that don't receive it, like I said, I would let those go. It's important for us to let those go if it's not what we're looking for, if it's not what we want. But if I'm still not authentically expressing how I am fully, then I will be receiving relationships that are around that level. And I want more, right? This place is for those curious and open people that want to connect more deeply. And this is the way to connect more deeply, is to express and share our positive feelings, our love towards others, so they know how we're feeling and they can express it back. If you also want to express yourself more, if you're having trouble or struggling with expressing your feelings, whether that's pain, sadness, or positive affection and love and gratitude, you can connect with me and go on my website. I can help coach you through it. Send me an email and we can talk about it. You can also download my free inner child healing practice where you can connect with your inner child and really ask that part of yourself that's hurting. Where is this coming from? What happened to me when I was younger? Where did this first start for me to hide myself and hide my feelings? And things take time, right? You can take little steps. If it starts in your head, you can write it down and journal. You can say it out loud and practice saying it out loud. And you can say it in the mirror. Practice saying in the mirror and look at yourself when you're saying that. You can start it on text so that it's words, and then it'll get easier to say it in person. Again, the more we do something, the easier it becomes. There still might be fear, but once we do it and then it's received well, we'll realize that we had nothing to be afraid of. For the people in our lives that really connect with us and love us, of course, they would receive our feelings well and openly. And you can take this affirmation: I express my whole truth. My feelings matter. I am an emotional and loving being. Thank you so much for taking the time to connect with me. Let me know what resonated for you and if there's any topics you'd like me to talk about. If you want to continue connecting with me, go ahead and subscribe and get notified when I release a new episode. You can also join my Siren Pod newsletter. As always, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, sending you warm wishes and soothing hugs.